And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wrestle Pearson Raw Review. We're back at it again, as usual. I'm your host, Ibu of Wrestle Pearson. I'm joined again, as usual, by Rob, who is currently no longer of the island of relevancy because there's some trouble at home there. But we're here to review night 2 of the WWE draft, last night's Monday Night Raw. But if you can't see already, we have a bit of a guest. Isra has joined the Raw review. She's back. We haven't seen her on the channel since her really good interview with Stokely Hathaway last month. But Isra's back. We haven't seen from her in ages. She was at WrestleMania. She's ready to review Monday Night Raw. She's fired up, ready to go.
I didn't say all that.
Isra, how's it going? The people have missed you. Talk to the WrestleMania audience.
I'm great. I miss you guys. I know I say that every time, but for those who do not know me, my name is Isra. I am respectfully about to pop my shit. I'm one of the pillars of Wrestle Purists. Respectfully, the first lady. No, I'm just kidding. I am one of the OGs though, so I'm gonna take credit for that. But yeah,
we actually have new people in the audience that don't know who you are. This is insane.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so much changes with wrestling, period, but also on the platform. It's like all kinds of new faces, whether it be on the brand or just part of the community. So yeah, right. I totally get that there's gonna be people that don't know me. So hopefully, to the new people, hopefully you don't think I'm too loud. Hopefully you don't think I'm too annoying. Because I have gotten certain allegations from the audience, but at the end of the day, we have all different kinds of characters with Wrestle Purists, and yeah, it's going to be a vibe. So thank you guys for having me. And yes, I was at WrestleMania. Do you want to get into that before we start?
I was going to say, yeah, while the people are filing in, why don't you give us a real quick rundown of your WrestleMania experience?
Man, it was once in a lifetime, and not saying that because it's WrestleMania, but because it was probably one of the most different experiences I've had going to a wrestling show. So number one, I was in the city with my best friend. So of course, like, that made it very special for me. But also, I've been to so many shows, house shows, like indie-esque shows. I've been to so many Raws, SmackDowns, pay-per-views, whatever. I've had floor seats. I've been up in like the upper levels, whatever. Like, I've had so many different experiences in wrestling. So on night 1, by the way, for context, I've never been in a stadium before. So I didn't really understand how big they were. Mm-hmm. And if you follow me, which you should, my @ is on my label on the screen. I posted a picture of me being up there, and I was quite literally at eye level with like the plane in the sky, and like the wrestlers down there.
You were sitting with Sting and Jesus Christ, basically.
I really was. It was funny because me and Taryn, like, we're walking up, like, we have to go up all these escalators, and like I said, I've never been in a stadium, and I've never been in that stadium in particular. So like, we're like running around trying to find our section, and we got there kind of late because we kind of did everything, like, we were just kind of going with the flow. And so once we finally got up to our section, we were like going up the steps, and I'm like, are we there yet? And we're going up the steps, and I'm like, damn, we're like all the way up there. And the crazy thing is, despite being where I was, and the fact that all the wrestlers looked like little ants fighting, which was really cute, by the way, I literally was like, do I want to share this? I was I was literally in tears in the main event because I had like this moment of just like, number one, for the people that don't know me, Seth Rollins is my favorite wrestler, has been my favorite wrestler since I met him like a decade ago. And
it's why your Twitter @ is Rollins.
Yes.
To play on your name and Seth Rollins.
Yes, that is correct. And I always said that if I go to WrestleMania, it has to be with him being in the main event. And so it just worked out that way. Like, he's in my city. And I was watching him, like, basically, carry the match because, The Rock isn't as mobile as he once was. Cody is just not good, period. And Roman Reigns is...
No, say that again. Say that one more time.
Cody is not him. So yeah, like I had that moment like in the middle of the main event where I was just like, life is just so funny because the way that this worked out. And like I said, had so many different experiences in wrestling, and I will never have an experience like that one on night one, even though I was way up there. Like it kind of added to it. Like it gave me like a sense of like humility, low key, but
Right.
also just made me appreciate like this journey that I've had with wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And then night two, Seth opened the show, and again, like I am here for like WrestleMania, but also because he's my fave. Like obviously, like I'm gonna pay more attention to him. On night two, after he lost, which I fully had anticipated, um, after he lost, when he was crying, I started crying again,
Mm-hmm.
and and Taryn was just like consoling me, and it was just like I really did. I was just in my emotions, and it was in a really good way. And I really did appreciate that experience because, again, if you follow me for a while, I kind of check in and out of wrestling at times. You know, I don't try to get too personal ever, but just in terms of what happens in real life and my day to day and stuff, like there's times when I'm just not too tapped into wrestling. And so it was really nice to get this experience and be able to just fully ignore everything else going on in my life and in the
Right.
world and everything and really just get to enjoy something that, you know, I've never gotten to experience something like this. So of course I'm very grateful for it, and I had a lot of fun. I got a lot of backlash from certain people on the internet because I left like a couple minutes into the main event. Uh,
You have to beat the traffic or some shit. Like,
no, we took the train. There was no traffic. Um,
I I'll say
it was crazy. No, but I'm sorry to cut you off, but it was so funny because their entrances went off and everything, and that's what we had stayed for. And then I'm like, yo, Taryn, like, is it okay with you if I leave just to like smoke a cigarette? I'll be right back. And she was like, no, they're gonna give you a hard time with it. I'll come with you. So we go out to the smoking area, and then I just look at her, and she just looks at me, and the next thing you know, we're on the train, getting the fuck up out of here. So it is what it is.
be like
Yeah,
that.
it really is.
Rob, one time, Rob, when I was in Queens, New York for the for Grand Slam. I think it was the second year. The main event was starting between Ricky Starks and Will Hobbs, and I was just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna just beat the traffic because there's like thousands of people in this venue, and I don't want to have to deal with that, and I'm just gonna go. But I'm happy this happened for you, Isra. I think it's
Yes.
cool for you. Here's why I'm also happy because Seth Rollins, he really wanted to main event a Mania, and he hurt his knee, and he knew he needed surgery, but he was like, "Listen, I'm gonna just do this fucking match and deal with the consequences afterwards," because
Yeah.
it's about your legacy, and he wanted this on his resume, and so he got it. He got what he wanted, and now he's taking his time off to recover. So good for him. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um. Yeah. I'm happy that he got to have his main event that he's waited so long for, and I know for a fact that's not going to be his only main event. There's definitely going to be more in store for him, which is really just a common theme with Seth in his career. Is once you think he's reached a peak, once you think he's reached a certain prime or he's reached a certain ceiling, he proves that there's always going to be more to see from him.
mhm.
So I'm really looking forward to it, and I really hope that he gets his rest and as much as he needs and then some, because like like you said, like he really was the I don't know how to word this. Like basically like the main event of WrestleMania weekend. Like he was all over the place, did a whole lot, impacted things that you would think don't even have anything to do with him, but there was just so many layers to it. So yeah, he contributed to WrestleMania in such an amazing way. I'm happy I got to see that, and I really hope he just out of sight, out of sight, out of mind with wrestling, and then
He
just
shouldn't
like
rush back. He shouldn't rush back. But what I was
yeah,
gonna, but so that's the deal with Seth Rollins. The deal today, folks. We're going to be getting into night two of the WWE draft. Night one was very just nothing happened, and a lot of people just kind of stayed put in the brands that they were already assigned to. And there were a lot of complaints, like there was a lack of call ups, there was just a lack of switches. This is very nothing happening show. And if nothing else, on this episode of Raw, we got much more movement between people on different brands. We had a couple call ups from NXT. And they got a couple of their reactions on TV. We got Blair Davenport and Lyra Valkyrie's reactions on TV to getting called up, which is really, really like sincere and heartfelt. So All I can say is this, folks. For those of you who watch the Wrestle Pierce Raw review regularly, you know that both me and Rob were concerned because we have to cover this show. So we want all the good wrestlers on this show because we got to watch the shit and review it, right? And so we were very worried about what was going to happen in the absence of Rhea Ripley, who's injured, and Cody Rhodes, who switched shows, and Seth Rollins, who's injured. And all I can say is, Rob, we won. We won. So we're going to get into that. I'm excited to talk about some
That
of these.
is no more in the Hot 12. That
Listen,
is
many of the
no more. I forget who else, but
Rob, we'll get
oh
into
my
it because listen,
god.
many of the terrorists on this show have been banished to SmackDown.
Okay, so real quick, because I forgot to mention because I was yapping. Um, there is a possibility and a potential that I will be recurring on this show. Hopefully, if all works out and you guys want me back, I'll be here next week and maybe the week after, because I do have Tuesdays off now. So maybe you'll be seeing more of me. Unless you want me to fuck off, then just be honest with me. Like I really don't want to waste nobody's time.
Right.
I had tweeted that you were making your debut. Wait, let me delete that.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get into it. But I haven't said this yet. Hold on. I don't want to get. Wait, hold on, Rob. I don't want to get fined here. We're 11 minutes in. I didn't tell people, guys. Please like the video. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already to Wrestle Purists. And please feel free to send super chats and give us your opinions on the draft. Give us your opinions on some of your favorite picks, maybe some of the matches you're looking forward to. If you want to ask us any questions, some news notes, some background information, maybe I can be able to provide that. But make sure to do that and subscribe if you have not already. But with that said,
read the banner.
Let's pull up these super chats, brother.
Alrighty, let's go. First super chat. Mohammed, 1999 Saudi Arabian. I forgot what the third one was. Liv stands are crying because the live crowd loves Becky and didn't boo her. They thought she was Cody. They don't love you like that. Hashtag Liv Morgan.
I don't know what you're talking about or who you're talking about that are crying. Liv is clearly a fucking heel, so who's mad that she's getting booed? That means she's doing her job.
It was interesting. She got booed in the opening segment, and they chanted "mommy" at her, but she got cheered in the match with Nia, which was interesting. I didn't think Liv had a good promo yesterday. They're gonna have to work on like how to get the best out of her in this new role, but we'll get into that as well. Thank you so much for the super chat, Mohammed.
Alrighty. Next super chat. Wait, no, that's not super chat. I started that one. Hush. 199. Hunter definitely taps into the reviews and the worldwides.
Rob, literally last week I said I want them to split up the LWO and the LBF. I said move one of them, give me Dragon Lee and Ray on Raw. It happened. I said call up Dijak. It happened. I said give me Braun fucking Breaker, give me Ilya Dragunov. It happened. Get all those guys on one show. It fucking happened.
Wait. Yeah.
Yes.
He taps into this show?
Listen, there's either an FBI.
Wait. I'm gonna be on here every week.
You are shameless. You are very shameless.
Okay. Is it? Stop it.
Very shameless. Thank you, Hush, for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. Hush.
Triple H, I'm very talented at like a lot of things. Like honestly, like there's a lot of different types of work that I could do. So like, let's talk business. I'll open my DM just for you.
Hush 199. Enjoy the scraps, Cody. Free KO and Randy.
Yeah, SmackDown definitely does not have the more exciting of the two rosters. We'll get into how we think they balance out. I think Cody still has enough to work with and succeed. It's a shame I won't be able to see Kevin Owens on Mondays. That'll be unfortunate. But SmackDown needs some main event guys. So
yeah, you know more live Cody every week for you, bro.
No. I watch Raw in full because I'm off on Mondays. But these other shows, I just kind of peek the big stuff for the highlights. I try to keep up with Dynamite though. But thank you, Hush.
No, he doesn't. He watches the entire SmackDown episode back after he goes home from work. Say Rhodes
when I get home.
1999. Collectively, our day brightened up when Israel returned. Welcome back, Goat. Also, Nixon 5. Oh, brother.
$20. Do say thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Y'all like the Knicks?
Look, I'm not a Knicks fan at all, but whoever can defeat the fucking evil that is the Celtics, just fucking get the job done. Please. Like,
Yes.
I'm begging.
Yes. Absolutely. Do say thank you so much for the 20 super chat. Thank you for being so kind.
Alrighty. Jay Stone, $5. Between Ilya, Sammy, Braun, Chad, Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew alone, this version of Raw might be the most insane weekly show WWE could ever produce.
The amount of talent that they compiled is insane. And I literally said last week again, I was like, if you don't have Rhea Ripley, the big star in her segments, and you don't have Seth at the moment, you don't have Cody, make it the wrestling show. It's 3 hours long. Get me some fucking savages in there and let them kill each other. And they compiled a lot of really, really interesting and fun wrestlers. So at this point, frankly, Rob, there's no excuse for Raw to not be awesome.
There's no excuse.
There's no excuse.
More
There should be
more build to Braun, Ilya, Gunther, Sheamus, Chad. Less awesome truth.
Yeah. The less Miz, the better. Listen, the King of the Ring tournament's coming up, and like just looking at the sheer talent on this roster, that bracket's going to have to be 16 people. So,
Wait, question.
yes.
When the Awesome Truth had reunited, was that when Vince was making changes? Like, was that a Vince thing?
No,
like, who was cooking that?
No. You know what it was, Isra? It was like a 1 week bit on TV that got over like a meme. And you know how wrestling is, where if something gets over as a meme, wrestling companies, they can't help themselves. They have to just lean into it.
Run the joke to the ground, yeah.
Right, and then
and ruin the joke, yeah.
Yeah, and then what happened? But then what happened was it got too over to the point where they couldn't like ignore it, and they're like, "Fuck, we gotta like actually like give them a moment now." But that's
which for I will say,
okay.
Which for 8-year-old me was like, okay, that was cool, but like 21-year-old me is like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the Miz, and like R-Truth is fine. Like but his ceiling is like 20-second comedy segment backstage. I don't need like extensive.
Yo, stop acting like my.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, so I was at Mania, and I'm not gonna lie to you. R-Truth winning, it really did pop me. It popped me like that.
No, it's a nice moment. They deserve to have that moment because they got over. But we are getting to the point where they should lose.
They should have had the Zack Ryder moment.
Right. Thankfully, Rob. Thankfully, I have an idea what's going to happen. Chad Gable is losing patience with his current cohorts in the Alpha Academy. I think he's going to dump them. He's going to enlist in the services of Julius Creed and Brutus Creed because he's been seen training with them. Yeah. Gable's going to team up with the Creeds, and he's going to have them get the job done that his loser partners could not do. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think the Creeds are going to be the ones to beat.
Because what you could do is you could have this be the issue. You could have them take the tag titles, right, and they can hold the tag titles for the summer, and then around the summertime when Imperium they start building up Imperium, and then I don't know if they're gonna have another tag team for Imperium or if Gunther and Old Boy is just gonna be the tag team. But I feel like at some point this year they should be holding the tag titles.
That's a bit far ahead. I don't know if they plan that, but what I do think is like just based off this week's setup, because Chad Gable, again, he turned heel 2 weeks ago in Canada, and this last week he basically was berating Maxine and the Alpha Academy backstage. Maxine's like, "Yo, Chad, last week in Battle Royal, I got 2 eliminations," and Chad's like, "That's what's up. Where's your championship? Did you win the match? I don't want to hear it." Like he went to the other guys.
He said, "That's what's up, bro."
He said, "If you do that bullshit dance this week, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you," you know. And he got them.
Real.
Yeah, he got them. He called them. They're losers in his mind, you know. And again, he got them a title match. They lost to Miz and Truth in like a minute and 50 seconds. So he's gonna realize very quickly, I don't need these people. I'm going to link up with successful winners. So that's what I think is gonna happen. Thank you so much for the super chat, Jay Stone.
Alrighty, Kale, 20 Mexican pesos. Welcome back, Isra. Hello, Rob.
And then Rob just read the super chat.
Sorry.
Hello. What? I'm so confused.
I was telling you to take.
I'll finish it. I'll finish it.
Super chat.
Oh, you want me to finish it? All right, I'll finish it.
Go
Hello,
ahead.
Rob. Shout out Wrestle Peers.
Right.
She'll read the next one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So Hush's $199 US is this greatest worker roster for WWE of all time. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Yes.
And potentially, like, this is a really solid roster. Like, I was just looking back at it, and it's a lot of talent that's stacked.
And here's the thing about it, and Rob, you remember this maybe even better than me. Their roster in 2019 was unbelievable, but WWE creatively was so bad that they didn't use it to even maybe 15% of its potential. Like, you had so many great wrestlers on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and so many people were either creatively mishandled, booked like jobbers, not utilized to their full maximum capabilities. So it was like, what good is this roster if you don't get the best out of it?
Bro, there was like I just found out last night because I was trying to look it up for something I was doing. Bro, there was a 3-way tag. I think it was FTR and it was 2 other tag teams, and they went 17 minutes and they got 3 3/4 from Dave. And I don't remember that match it was the Usos and somebody else. And I don't remember that match taking place because that's how bad Raw was.
Well, you don't remember it taking place because they just put on a product where everything just kind of goes in one ear, out the other. Nothing was like memorable. You know, they didn't put a product on like that. You were not rewarded for like paying attention and caring. But here's the thing. Right now, there's a really nice group of guys, and if nothing else, the creative is competent. So the hope should be that they maximize as many of these people as possible. Is every single person going to be the best version of themselves? It's kind of impossible. But what you want to do is hit on most of the main ones. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. Thank you so much for the super chat, Hush.
Alrighty. You want me to take this one, or you want me to?
I'll read it. Hush 199. Let's be honest. Liv is a polar bear in Texas on Raw. We're gonna see. It looks like Liv is.
That's not true.
We'll see.
You gotta let her. You gotta let her cook. Like, you haven't really seen anything yet.
She has been cooking, and I don't love the food. But what I'll say is, it's a new landscape. We'll see how it goes. She looks like she's gonna be in some type of thing with Dominic, which maybe that's gonna be a new direction, a new avenue of character work that could unlock something with her. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, damage control's on Raw now, which is very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing more EO matches that go over 3 minutes.
Yes. Thank you for the super chat.
Man, Karan.
100 rupees. I'm knowing they call you the boy, but where's a man? Because I ain't seen him yet. Yo, that
Kendrick.
that
Kendrick song. That shit was just crazy.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, bro.
That man said, "You are white, you are insecure, you are a child, you do not take care of your children, you may be a pedophile, and you suck at rapping." That's basically what, and I hate you, and I hate how you dress.
Bro, that nigga, no, bro. He just literally took like a minute to be like, yo, I fucking hate you, bro. Like, I genuinely cannot stand you existing.
They started texting me the voice. She was just like, "This dude Kendrick, yo." Like, it was crazy.
I didn't even want to listen because I like all 3 of these people. Like, I like all of the people involved in this beef.
Right, but we're here for violence. You know?
Yeah, so but like I'm listening to this, I'm like, damn, bro, he really just like hates this nigga. This is crazy.
I needed that this morning. Between the draft, between this, now all I need is the Knicks to seal the deal tonight, and this would have been a really nice hours. Let's not.
Don't know about that one.
Don't jinx us. Don't jinx us. We'll see.
All right. Last super chat before we get into Raw. Bam, $2. The first lady is back. Tony got
Bam.
Shout out to Bam.
We love you.
Yeah, so Bam is referencing, so at the last AEW press scrum, Tony Storm kind of made fun of Cody Rhodes' post-match celebration at WrestleMania. And she said something along the lines to Tony, kind of like, "I promise you I will not call you to the ring when I finish my story," or something like that. And Cody today said that, "I still root for AEW. I still appreciate AEW, but they're making it difficult when they keep mentioning me in press conferences." And so it was the first ever public sign of Cody seeming kind of irritated with them. And so people were saying, well, the only thing he could be referencing is Tony Storm, who kind of like took a little jab at that whole deal. So
Okay, but you literally like created this whole landscape. Like that, the game is the game. Get out of your feelings.
yes, it's like really not a big deal at all, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
it's not a big deal at all. And Cody, I mean, I don't think it bothers him or keeps him up at night, but he should have thicker skin considering that when he was in AEW, he was one of the biggest purveyors of tribalism. He was one of the biggest purveyors of us versus them in the shots. So he should know that the game is the game. But thank you for the super chat, Bam. I too am happy that the first lady is back.
Damn, bro, I'm reading the quote and this can man, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
He's like, damn, bro, like I don't even be fucking with y'all, bro. Like what kind of shit is that?
Yeah, he was bit in his feelings. But folks, last night's Raw. They were in Kansas City, Missouri, I believe. I think, right? Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kansas City, Missouri.
That's why they had the whole like Chiefs thing.
Yeah. Kansas City, Missouri.
Here.
They had, I want to say, the biggest crowd ever in the history of that venue for Monday Night Raw. And it was, again, night 2 of the draft. And we opened up, and there was a cold open shot of Logan Paul coming out of a car. And I Show Speed came out with him. I Show Speed, a person I had no clue who Speed was like 3 months ago until like my nephews introduced me to him. And then I hated him from what I saw. And I got to be honest with you, Rob. After this,
Free Palestine. He's so real.
Yes,
I don't know nothing about his content, but like he's always shouting out Palestine, so we fuck with him.
Absolutely. So you know what I was just getting to, Isra, and that it is really cool that he does that. But dude, I got to be honest, Rob. I'm like, I think I'm a Speed guy. Like this guy's hilarious. Like
bro. He's a funny dude, bro.
He's perfect for wrestling because he's just a character. But yeah, he comes out with Speed. He daps up Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, the best player in the NFL, and they're welcomed by
the best player in the NFL.
Right. They're welcomed by Damian Priest on the Judgment Day. Priest congratulated Paul on his success, and Paul returned the favor. Paul said that Priest would destroy the ugly Uso at Backlash, and they all just walked out of the arena together. So that was an interesting cold open.
For the record, Jay is the fine Uso. Like, I don't know where they got that from.
What, that he's the ugly one? So, McAfee and Cole recap the draft rules. For those that don't know, this year's draft, they had all the champions protected. If you were a champion on your show, you stay on that show. They're not switching any belts this year, which meant that Cody Rhodes was staying on SmackDown. It meant that Bayley's staying on SmackDown. It meant that Theory and Waller staying on their shows, Awesome Truth is staying on Raw, Sammy staying on Raw, so on and so forth. But outside of that, you can draft whoever you want, and you can pick up full stables. And we opened the show with Becky Lynch, who came out, and she said that Kansas City was where the man was born, and that the arena was where her face got busted, and she let the world know that this was her show now. She's doing her big victory speech because she just won the women's world title last week in the Battle Royal. But she said that it took nearly 2 years to regain the championship, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But yeah, she's been on a lot of side missions. The crowd gave her "You deserve it" chance. Lynch said she didn't want to just hold the title; she wanted to defend it. She wanted to fight the best. Then doom 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 doom. Watch me. Liv Morgan comes out, and she's being all Liv Morgan-y, and the crowd is chanting "Mommy" because she injured Mommy, and she said that Lynch should look no further for her next challenger. She said that Lynch was only the champion because Morgan did what she couldn't do and take out Rhea Ripley. Morgan said that this was her revenge tour, and she would not stop until she got everything she wanted. Becky admitted that she wouldn't be the champion without Morgan, but Morgan would be the champion right now if not for what Lynch did to her last week in the Battle Royal. This is pretty like lame and middling banter between the two of them. But Nia Jax then interrupts. And
promo train.
Yeah, now we have a promo train. Nia Jax comes out next in this carousel of bad verbiage. But the thing with Nia, though, I will say, she's like just kind of funny. So the crowd are booing her, and she's just kind of like being oblivious about it. She said that Michael Cole explained that the new rosters aren't in effect. This will be Nia's final Raw before she moves to SmackDown. Jax said that they were lucky she got drafted to SmackDown. She said that this is her last night on Raw, and before she left, she's taken one of them with her. So Morgan accepted the challenge and drop-kicked her out of the ring, and that set up later on tonight Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax. I'll jump in front of this and just say that I hate promo trains in general. Like, I just hate this. I hate A guy talks, person comes out to talk to them, and then another person talks out. You cue their music, come to them, and it's just a very like outdated, in my opinion. It's very outdated and stilted and awkward, and it's also not good when like the dialogue and like the promo delivery isn't particularly good. So this was not an electric start to Monday Night Raw, and Liv Morgan wasn't particularly good here.
It was really good. It was fun. It was cute. I'm tired of the straight man takes. First of all, promo trains are so fun when it's the girls. I don't care about like when the guys do it, to be honest. I didn't know there was any kind of feelings towards promo trains. Like I didn't even know that they had a term for it.
The promo trains is promo trains are like lazy as fuck. Like,
yeah, they're so outdated. To me, I think we need to finally get more real with wrestling. Like more real, more personal. The idea of just I'm gonna talk and then cue my music. Now I'm gonna talk and give you my catchphrases and my buzzwords.
It's way better. It's way better when somebody's talking and then like somebody comes from the back and is like, whoa, with no music, and it's just like, yo, whoa.
And the reason-
I will say, I would prefer if they kind of cut each other off and just started talking shit more, because I do kind of see what you mean, not kind of, but I get what you're saying when it comes to like, oh, I'm gonna finish my statement and then you do your statement type shit, where they could just like, because if you're talking crazy about me, like I'm not gonna let you finish what you have to, like I'm war fighting. But yeah, I can see what you mean by that.
Right. It's so stilted and outdated and phony. So the reason why it stands out now is because WWE's product is starting to transition out of that, and they just got a new director, Lee Fitting, and they're doing all these new visual techniques, and they're trying to be more dynamic and more grounded. And so this is very much like Polar Bear in Texas when it comes to like the new initiatives. It's just very like Vince era. It's very like 2000 to fucking 12, you know. So if you can transition out of that, I'd personally appreciate it. But I didn't think the segment was that effective. Rob, what did you think of the opening?
I thought it was fine for what we're trying to get across, but I just don't like promo trains. I don't like the whole concept of, like you said, hit my music, then I'm gonna talk now. And it's just like it doesn't work when you don't have the strongest of talkers like on the microphone. Like I like Liv Morgan, but like it's you know, it's not where it used to be kind of anymore. And then with Nia Jax is just funny because she just says things.
She's hilarious.
She's hilarious. They're booing her. So it's like, why are you booing me? Like I'm gonna.
I love her voice.
Yeah, she has a
and but even if like if Liv Morgan is working with somebody, right, and they're writing bullet notes for her promos, every promo doesn't have to be "This is my revenge tour." It doesn't have. She doesn't have to say. I want real issues. I don't want taglines. Yeah, that's the thing. The problem with too many promos nowadays is that there's so many. So it was the problem with the MJF and Jay White feud, because the whole feud it was just Jay White every single promo being forced to be like, "Yo, I'm the catalyst and I'm the whatever the fuck." It's just like, dude,
it's just people rattling off their catchphrases, and it's like this is not. But
I get it. You've told me for 2 months straight now that it's your revenge tour. I get it.
We followed this opening segment up.
You didn't ask me what my thoughts were.
You gave your thought. Did you have any other extended thoughts?
I just disagreed with you, which I will continue to do. But I do partially agree with some of the stuff that you guys are saying. I think it's more so an issue of creative, not necessarily knowing how to cook with like women promos. Like I really enjoy like Liv switching to being a heel now. I think it suits her more, and I think there's a lot that she could do with that. But like how Rob was saying, like the tag. First of all, I like the tagline. I think she should continue to say it because it's just good branding. But I do think there's more layers to her, and I think she knows that. And everyone just like, you know what? Justice for Liv. Because she should have won that battle royal. If I was here last week, like I'd have been shitting on that because, like, why? It's kind of like the thing is they're always putting her in an awkward fucking position where it's like, yeah, she can cook, like she can have good matches, she can have good promos, but then it's like it'll be like 2 steps forward, 10 steps back, and then she's just kind of like forced to work with whatever they have for her, and that's such an issue when like she is over, like even though she's getting booed now, how someone mentioned earlier, like. that's because like she has potential to be like a really great heel, but there's just so much more that needs to be done in terms of creative for the women. And with Liv specifically, just like if she's doing good or if the crowd is behind her or if she has heat, like just put the rocket on her. Like I don't understand what the issue is with like pushing her.
In my view, I think I'm at the end of my rope with this version of her, which is why I'm happy that she's clearly pivoting to something new with Dominic and whatever this Judgment Day thing is going to be, because that's going to lead back to Rhea Ripley, who is the person she's beefing with. So for me, what I'm looking forward to is, while Becky will be like the workhorse of the division and so on and so forth, Liv will have an opportunity to do something new and explore a different angle with her character and maybe kind of create good TV out of that. Because the thing is, Isra, like watching it week to week, she's been doing this specific shtick every single week for like months on end at this point, and there's like there's no added nuance or variation to it. And so as a viewer, it's just very tedious, you know. But listen, she has a role to play, and I'm open to seeing how she can fit in with this, just with the layout, the lay of the land, so to speak. Right now, we followed the opening segment with Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Bronson Reed being shown arriving separately. Reed was wearing a Calgary Hitman shirt, and it was plugged that Zayn was going to defend his Intercontinental Championship tonight against Bronson Reed. Reed has been chasing that. He's been chasing that belt for a couple weeks now. The bigger feud, that's the interim thing for Sami. The bigger thing is Chad Gable, who turned heel on Sami in Canada a few weeks ago. So draft round one. Here we go. Monday Night Raw selects Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser, Imperium, over to Raw. Giovanni Vinci's not included. He was kicked out of Imperium last week. Raw gets Gunther. SmackDown selected Jade Cargill, so she will stay on SmackDown with Bianca Belair. Nothing surprising there. Pick number 3, Raw selected Damage Control. This is the first major move of the night. Io Sky, Kairi Sane, Asuka, and Dakota Kai are going to Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown retained Kevin Owens. I think the big takeaway here is Damage Control, Rob. And watching that Women's Battle Royal last week, the biggest thing was how lacking they were in reliable TV women to just like fortify the division. It was very striking.
Right.
They need women that you can trust to be there in major spots, go out there for however amount of extended time. And I think Io specifically helps this. And I'm happy for her, because not only does she help Raw, it helps her. She was somebody that couldn't be the best version of herself on a show where her match is maxed out at 8 minutes long. But you add 5 minutes to that makes all the difference in the world. So I think that's a big add for the division. What did you think of the move of Damage Control to Raw?
I like the move of Damage Control to Raw because, like I said, because Rhea Ripley's obviously gonna take the title back when she comes back. And I said when I thought she was gonna hold it for another year, which was I pretty much think she was going to if she didn't get hurt. But I said a few months ago before WrestleMania that we needed more women like that were actually good and had a name and had personalities to help her reign get over, because I'm not saying she's like a star merchant or whatever, because it's not, but it's just like it's hard because Vince McMahon didn't let Zoe Stark get over. Vince McMahon didn't let all the girls that she tried to wrestle pay-per-view. He didn't put Raquel Gonzalez over the right way. She had like several injury angles in like 2 months, and it basically killed all her momentum. And so it's like now we have girls, now we have Dakota Kai could wrestle Rhea Ripley. Now we got who else we got? Like you said, Io Sky, Asuka can still go against her. Kyrie may, I don't know. We haven't seen too many singles matches from Kyrie, so
But even still, I think the bottom line, Rob, is these are better options to fill TV time than, you know, like a Candice LeRae or a Tegan Knox, who just weren't particularly over, you know. So I just think it's a upgrade. Isra, do you have any opinions on Damage Control moving to Monday Night Raw?
No.
You're not a Damage Control fan?
No, I love Damage Control. I just I don't.
Because for me, I'm just looking forward to seeing Io in matches where she can actually cook. But Yeah, if you don't have an opinion, it's fine. I was just curious, but we followed this up, guys, with Gunther versus Xavier Woods. And here's the deal with this. Gunther has declared for the King of the Ring tournament. Xavier Woods pointed out last week when he interrupted him that he was the last person to win that tournament a few years ago. And so he pretty much declared his intentions to be in the tournament. And this is neither a qualifier or a round one matchup, but if anything, it's just a preview, so to speak, of the tournament. And they had a 3-segment match that, like, it wasn't like your explosive type of Gunther match. Like, it was very much a match focused on limb work. He was targeting Xavier's leg, and he was really targeting it and focusing on it for the first 2 blocks of this match. And then it kind of like paid off at the end because he hit him with like a single-legged Boston Crab that was about to fucking rip his like leg out of its socket. And Kofi Kingston, who's dressed like a freaking trainer, is like stressed out. He grabs the towel. He's about to throw it. The crowd starts to get into it. They're chanting New Day Rocks. But Xavier is begging and pleading for Kofi for this for him not to throw the towel. And he refuses to give up. He refuses to give in. Kofi ultimately throws it to the side and won't throw the towel. Xavier gets out of the Boston Crab, only for Gunther to get him in this like modified STF that was also a cravat hold. It was like a crazy, super killer submission. And ultimately, Xavier Woods taps out, and it looks like maybe he's injured to some degree or some kind. So we'll see what they end up doing. But this could have been a device to write Woods off from the tournament. Which, if that is the case, that's a good development because Xavier, the character, wanted to be in the tournament, which you have to have him do because otherwise he looks dumb. He's competitive. But then Gunther gets the heat of writing him off, and then you free the spot up for another wrestler. Isra, what did you think of Gunther versus Xavier Woods?
That was a really great match. There's definitely more, to it. I don't know. It was a good like mid card match. I didn't have like too many thoughts necessarily, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Rob, what did you think?
I loved this match because this was like a lynching on you, like on national TV. Like, this was crazy. Like, this was insane the way he was beating the shit out of Xavier Woods in the first 5 to 6 minutes of the match. I think I saw like Xavier get a few chops in and maybe like a dive that didn't really work. But like the whole time he's kicking his leg. He's just chopping the shit out of him. He's throwing him against like the post and shit.
He was
And
chopping
just
his
like,
knee.
bro, literally chopping his knee. And it's just like, like Gunther, bro. Gunther and Walter. Like, and one day we're gonna have the conversation of Gunther versus Walter. Like, in terms of like who was better. And they're the same person because that's how good this guy is, bro.
What I love the most about him, Rob, is that he doesn't have the same match every week. He has totally different matches every week.
Yep.
And it's not like he has the one kind of like all out like main event style blow away 5-star type of approach. He literally on a random given TV, he'll be like, I got 9 minutes. This match will be about this thing in this spot, and it's revolving around this thing. The match where he kills Dominic, the match where he works this guy or that guy. There's always a different thing he's targeting, a different thing he's focusing. He wins in so many different ways. Sometimes he wins with the Emerald Flosion. Sometimes he wins with a Boston Crab. Sometimes it's a lariat. Sometimes it's a freaking power bomb. It's always different, and to me that's interesting because some guys, they have their set routine, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like Randy Orton is very successful just doing what Randy does, but like a lot of people have their set routine and way that they wrestle to the point where you can just kind of like not pay that much attention. But Gunther, he rewards your attention. You're paying attention to the limb work in the first phase, and in the last phase it gets paid off with the big submission. So I thought this was cool, and it's more momentum from Gunther going into the King of the Ring tournament. We follow this up with let's see here. We follow this up with Kathy Kelly interviewing Jey Uso. She wondered if he was feeling any pressure, but Jey said no, and that Priest would receive a yeet down at Backlash. She asked about Logan Paul's earlier comment, and Jey was glad. Jey was glad they signed a Paul brother, but wished it was the one with the winning record, and the crowd liked that line. Patrick Mahomes in the front row, and Samantha Irvin announced him to the crowd with a big ovation. The Chiefs players, Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey, were also there. Logan Paul and ISO Speed, they come out for the next round of picks. ISO Speed was just like, He was an absolute character here announcing these picks.
He's a natural.
He was like, with the first pick of the WWE draft, Raw pick, the voice of the voiceless, CM Punk. Like, it was a big pop. CM Punk's going to Monday Night Raw. The crowd is chanting for him. And then Logan Paul announces that SmackDown selects Bobby Lashley, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, B-Fab, the Pride. I don't know if that's the best option for them, but it appears, I think that they're staying at SmackDown because Bobby's somebody that they're going to have to throw at Cody Rhodes, inevitably. So,
yeah.
So that's kind of that for that one.
Oh my God, when he catches Cody out of that beautiful disaster kick with that spear, oh my God.
Right. And then the last one from Raw on this round, this guy I Show Speed, he's like with the third pick in the second round of the draft, Raw selects the monster among monsters, Braun Strowman. And the crowd pops big. Braun Strowman is selected. The antennas are up. Like, is he going to come back tonight? Because he's been sidelined with a neck injury since last April or May. He had neck surgery. So Braun is picked. And then with the last pick of this round, SmackDown selected Tiffany Stratton. She will stay put. SmackDown remains Tiffy time. She will be fighting for the Women's Championship at Backlash against Bayley and Naomi in a triple threat. So Stratton stays on SmackDown. The crowd chanted for CM Punk after his name was called. Cole notes that Drew McIntyre must be pissed because Punk was picked and he wasn't. And as we know, CM Punk is Drew McIntyre's mortal enemy.
He's my enemy too, so I feel his pain.
Drew McIntyre's?
No, Punk is.
Oh, Punk. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you feel Drew McIntyre's pain.
Yeah.
Logan Paul makes his way to the ring, and he said that he spoke the truth when he said Priest was going to beat Jey Uso. He said Jey leaving the bloodline was a mistake because he couldn't win a title on his own, unlike Paul. Jey Uso comes out. They're doing it's just me, Uso. They're doing the hands up, hands down. It's just me, Uso. Day one. It's all that stuff. Pat McAfee's standing on the table like a jackass doing the dance.
Hey, look, Michael Cole is like, yo, Logan is telling you to stop.
Jey Uso asked the crowd if they thought he should beat up Logan Paul. They said yeet. Paul said yeet. Paul basically was like, hey man, I've been yeeting since 2017, and it's a lot of yeets from the crowd.
Oh my God. Stop!
Y'all want
Just
me?
Stop!
Rob, dude. Y'all want me?
Yeet!
To beat up Logan Paul?
Yeet!
Tonight on Monday Night Raw?
Yeet!
Jey Uso?
Yeet!
Main event Jey Uso? Like that's
Yeet! No, you know what makes it worse? When he starts doing it, or he'll like say a sentence, like a full sentence, so he'll start trying to do it again, and then they're so fucking like it's so out of rhythm because they have no fucking rhythm. He's like he'll start a sentence, like he'll be like, that's why I'm, and then it takes them fucking 50 seconds to say yeet afterwards, bro. It's tiring. It's awful. Stop.
He'll be like, main event Jey Uso. I said main event Jey Uso.
Also, at some point, it's gonna age. Like, remember when what's his name? Filipino dude, Cruiserweight Classic. I forgot his name. How he used to dab all the. Yeah, like that kind of at some point just stopped being a thing. So I feel like with yeet, it's just gonna be like, it's just like a trendy little thing. At some point, you just gotta fucking stop. Like, it's not gonna stick.
Unfortunately, it stuck to this crowd, which is why they're continuing to do it. And what I don't, I really don't want to be the I hate fun guy because people go like, oh, they love you.
You do hate fun, though.
I hate
fun.
That
is the thing you hate.
So I do hate fun, but here's the thing. In my defense, Jey Uso pre-Yeet was a great promo. He was an underrated promo, and now he has to like be this like rap battle master of ceremonies guy. I just don't love it, but. Nevertheless, in this segment, Paul was trash talking Jey Uso, and he was doing pretty good, to be honest with you. Logan Paul's a natural at this. Finn Balor and J.D. McDonough come to the ring. Jay didn't wait to get attacked, so he goes after Judgment Day. They get the better of him. Logan Paul goes to Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes gives Logan Paul his Super Bowl rings, which is very strange. Logan Paul is a heel. This is a heel thing. Patrick Mahomes is in Kansas City, his hometown. I mean, his home team, and he's playing bad guy. So, like, Triple H, watch some sports. What are you doing? But nevertheless, Logan Paul's about to hit Jey Uso with this, but Jay ducks and he hits JD, and they do the Friday moment where Jay's like looking at him, and he's basically like, "You got knocked the fuck out." But Finn Balor and Logan Paul continue to jump him, and that's when Braun Strowman is out. He has this.
Oh my god, yo! Look at.
Is that also a train of sorts?
No, this is not a promo chain. This is just an angle, and that's the baby.
Not a promo, but like a train of sorts, because like it was just like a lot going on in a sequence.
No, this is.
So where's your criticism of that? Also, I forgot Braun Strowman was hired.
So no, it's a completely different thing. This is just a wrestling angle with a babyface save. That's
Look
not
at
the
this
same.
nigga.
That's not the same as people walking out to give out their like stilted dialogue at each other, and I just don't like that in general. That's just a personal thing. But no, I have no issue with wrestling angles where the heels do beat downs.
I think
the make saves.
I think the difference is like this is a save angle, whereas to like coming out every 5 minutes to give you a catchphrase, just to give you a catchphrase, it's like, yo, do you have an actual issue here, or do you just want to be out here?
Not to relitigate this entire topic. The other thing I don't like about promo trains, though, is that they tend to always be people complaining at each other. But anyway, Braun Strowman's back. He has this weird new hairdo. He really tried to force his hair back on his head.
He's so beast, bro. Oh my god, bro. Look at this nigga.
No, I love Braun. He's a lot of fun, but he needs to cut the hair. But he gives Finn Balor a Big Show style choke slam. He walks into Pat Mahomes and he's basically like, "You want some, boy?" You know, and Jey Uso's like,
that boy was crazy. That boy was crazy. That boy was crazy.
You want some, boy? I got some for you and your boy. It's like, all right. James was like, not too much, but Braun Strowman's back. Braun Strowman's back. I'm glad he's back. I missed him.
Really?
Rob, yeah, I did. I think he's one of the most overhated wrestlers in the world this year. I think he's so underrated with what he provides. He's like, when you really think about it, very few people at his size move the way he does and just are as good at wrestling as him. Like, I genuinely, people like act like he's the shits, and I just don't agree. I just really don't agree. There were periods where he was booked bad and like was really boring, but
bro, when he was booked to play with Slime with the Miz and Morris and every fucking movie.
Yeah, like Vince just didn't know what to do with him after the first year. But I think Braun's a lot of fun. I think he adds a chaotic element to the show. His tag team with Ricochet was fun when he was last year. So I'm happy to have Braun back. And also, when Braun Breaker can fight him, that's going to be really exciting. There's a lot of guys you could throw him against that would make for interesting matchups. What did you think of this whole angle, Isra? The Jey Uso, Logan Paul, Judgment Day, Braun Strowman angle?
I really like Logan and Jay's interaction. They're both great and sexy, and I want that match. I didn't much care for Braun Strowman. Like, I didn't even know he was hired. When they drafted him, I was like, oh, where? Like, he goes here? Like, I completely forgot that he existed. No disrespect, but some disrespect. What the shit that you were talking about him being overhated, I don't think he's hated enough. But yeah, it was nice seeing JD McDonough on the floor.
Right.
I think he should be the next to fuck off. And yeah, like all around, like it was just a cute little thing. Like, I don't think there was any too much to unpack necessarily, besides the fact that I really would like to see a Jey Uso Logan 1v1. Also, I drew this picture of Seth. What do you guys think?
I can't see it. It's
you can't
Rob, you gotta take the you gotta move her back to the
yeah, let me move her back to the main screen.
I'm crying.
When did you draw this one?
That, you know how I was sitting here like doodling, like my hand was to the side. This is that. If y'all know where this is from, what the reference is from, like I'll literally cry.
Is that?
But yeah, that's the shit. It was, when Seth was standing there announcing that he was injured and crying. You can laugh. Like, the picture is funny. Like, it's not.
It's funny.
I don't know how to draw. I know how to paint.
Rob, what did you think of the angle?
Shout out my nigga Braun Strowman, man. We broke our neck about a year ago. You know what we do.
Absolutely.
You know what time it is.
Absolutely.
Yo, I need Braun versus Braun Breaker.
Yes.
By SummerSlam.
I need a rematch with Gunther. I want to see him fight.
Put Braun in the King of the Ring. Fuck it. Put him in the King of the Ring.
I just want to see him fight all the big men.
Good ass.
So we were backstage, and R-Truth was making some sort of deal with Chad Gable. Miz showed up and was trying to figure out what was going on, and it led to some comedy. But the bottom line was, Truth got tricked into awarding a tag title match to Akira Tozawa and Chad Gable of the Alpha Academy. After Miz and Truth left, Gable got booted over by Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn gets his lick back and gets his receipt for what Chad did when he ripped Sami out of his wife's arms and suplexed him on the floor. But that definitely looks to be the long-term direction for the Intercontinental Championship. So that's the deal with that. Captain Kelly asked Booker T about the draft so far. And Booker said he liked the picks of Jade Cargill and CM Punk. You're too ahead of the pictures, Rob.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre. Issa, are you like beating up your microphone or like your desk or something?
No.
I was hearing this like desk rattling noise, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But so Booker was talking about how he liked the picks of Jade Cargill and Punk, and then Drew McIntyre showed up behind him, and he was just like, "You think it makes?" He asked me if he thought it made sense for the guy who was at one match this year before getting injured to get drafted over the guy that won a world title at Mania, and Booker said, "Where's that title right now?" And McIntyre said he thought he was in a backwards world. He said he knew Booker back in the day, and he knows how Booker really feels about CM Punk. Ooh, that was a spicy, sassy line.
I need that. Drop that.
We know how you feel about Punk.
Say it.
McIntyre told Booker that he's changed. Michael Cole notes as Bronson Reed walking out. He noted that if Bronson Reed won the title, he would be protected in the draft, and Zayn would move into Reed's slot of the draft pool. It's not going to matter because they both end up going to Monday Night Raw, and Sami Zayn does not lose the title here. He faces Bronson Reed, and the match ended via DQ because Chad Gable came in and suplexed Sami Zayn. So the angle is very much a setup for a triple threat. And what I'll say about that is, one, I hope it gets added to the France pay-per-view because that needs another good match. And two, what I like about it, Rob, is we finished this Chad Gable heel development yet. Like, he's still not in his final form. He's inevitably going to dump Alpha Academy and join with the crew. I think Sami and Chad should not wrestle a one-on-one until he gets to that mode. And also, that needs some more seasoning. So in the interim, doing a triple threat is a good move. So yeah, it looks like we're doing a triple threat. Hopefully it's at the Backlash pay-per-view. The match was fine. Sami Zayn is just doing his typical Sami Zayn stuff, bumping for the big man. And that was kind of that. Do you have anything to say on this one, Isra?
I'm very locked into this Chad Gable, Sami Zayn feud.
Right.
And Chad Gable is just on another level at this point. And him pulling up on Sami just to suplex him, like when he's like off guard, is just the best shit. Like,
yeah, to me, Isra, I think now that, like, because Cody was obviously the designated number one of Monday Night Raw, right? But now that he's gone, like, right now it seems to be Jey Uso as the surrogate one. I'm very comfortable and happy with Sami Zayn being like the main character of the good guy on this show. He's a pure babyface. He's a star. He's somebody that main evented Mania last year. So I would not shy away from that. And I'm locked in on this one as well. Rob, what did you think of this whole business?
I really love what's going on with Chad Gable and Sami Zayn. I like that they're basically telling a story with it instead of just burning out the match at France.
Right.
I'm really hoping that this doesn't mean that we're getting a three-way in France, but it looks like we are. So
I don't mind that though for two reasons. I want Chad and Sami on that show. When I watch that show in the afternoon on Saturday, I want to watch those two wrestlers without burning. I feel like you're having your cake and eating it too. You're not burning off the big match, but you get to get them on the card.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't mind it personally. We'll see if they add it. So we followed this up with Ron Simmons and JBL, the APA, out the next draft picks. And JBL was doing Raw and Ron Simmons was doing SmackDown. I want you guys to go back. My favorite thing about this is Ron Simmons clearly doesn't watch WWE and has no clue who any of the people are that he's reading. So JBL goes, With the first pick of the round, Raw selects LWO, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin, Zelina, Carlito. The deal here is LWO are going to Raw. Carlito broke up from the group on Friday, but he's still with them because when they were entered into the draft pool prior to Friday, they were together. So that's the deal there. But when Ron Simmons did his announcement, right, it was so funny. He's reading every name like it's the first time he saw it. He was like, with a second pick, SmackDown select Santos Escobar, Electra, Lopez, Angel, Berto, Legata del Fantasma. Like this is the uncle that has no clue who any of these people are. But big takeaway, Rob. They finally split up this vortex of a feud where these Mexican men have to wrestle each other every week, nonstop, with no end goal in sight.
They're so mad that them niggas was doing their thing, bro.
Oh, I love almost everybody involved. I genuinely love almost everybody involved, but this feud could have been so much more like awesome than it was, but it wasn't because number one, it peaked when Santos turned heel in November. But the reason why it wasn't awesome was because they're having matches that go 3 minutes. What am I supposed to do with a 3-minute lucha libre tag? You know, so between that and like this like fucking shark jumping Carlito heel turn, like I was just over it. And I wanted them to split up because I want to watch Rey and Dragon Lee do their thing on a different show and a different landscape where they can wrestle for fucking 10 minutes. So we're finally doing that. Raw selected Drew McIntyre with the third pick, and SmackDown took Shinsuke Nakamura. Rob, we are free. We are free of Shinsuke Nakamura.
What the fuck?
We don't have to watch this guy's terrible matches anymore.
I'm not the one that was slandering him, nigga. You were.
I'm free. I don't have to watch his terrible matches with his awful fucking.
Wait, whose terrible matches?
Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't have to see.
Yo, your Shinsuke hate is just not
like it's so weird, bro. He just exists, bro.
Mind you, Shinsuke is like 52.
Then I won't. 52 is crazy, but bro, yeah, 52 is crazy. But no, it's like, bro, he just be walking around doing his thing, he going to his BJJ classes, then going to surf, bro. He just be minding his business. Yo, I'm about to start calling you racist.
Austin said you got now.
Yeah, honestly.
So here's the thing, Austin. Yeah, we traded one washed wrestler for another even more washed wrestler in Carlito. Yes, that's going to be a bit of an issue. But here's where we hold out hope that Dragon Lee beats him next week and he goes to the Performance Center. But we'll see. we'll definitely see. We'll see what ends up happening there. I'm just glad we get to watch Rey Mysterio again. Rey Mysterio on Mondays. So let's go. People are so mad at him shitting on Shinsuke. Berserk, chill on the goat.
Weird this nigga.
He said, "Bro's just vibing and you hate him." He is vibing.
He literally is just vibing.
He's allowed to vibe away from me.
Bro,
do it
right,
there. So
you know that's what they say about you, right? That's what they say about you, right? You know that's what they say about you. That's what the one. You know.
Why
folks
is NPD accusing me of being a gooner?
You know how to Israel. You can have your pants, or you can have your pants sagging, and wear your chains and your gold teeth, or you can do it somewhere else.
What is this cooning display? What are you?
That's what you sound like. That's what you sound like talking about Shinsuke. What you're basically saying is Shinsuke could take his martial arts and he can go somewhere
and go back to his country.
That's basically what you just said.
I said I don't like Shinsuke. Y'all acted like I said this is a filthy Japanese man. And
you did. That's basically. He's just vibing. He's just vibing, doing his thing, and you're like, yo, get this guy away from me.
Get away from me. Your face. I don't know if y'all watched in Temptation Island, Rob. I think you did. In season 2, when that dude KB said to that girl, your face disgusts me. It annoys me. But I'm free of Nakamura. And Drew McIntyre came out. He was really in his fucking feelings. He's so mad he got drafted in round 3. And he was like, he wondered if the APA was drinking since Friday because it was stupid. He only got picked in the 3rd round. Ron Simmons is like, motherfucker, I don't make the motherfucking picks now. Don't get mad at me, nigga. I just announced this shit. Why are you getting mad at me? But the crowd is chanting CM Punk, and he said, yeah, anti-establishment CM Punk. He said Punk was no longer anti-establishment. He said he's a corporate ass kisser. And then he
He
congratulated
cooked.
he congratulated Punk on finally accomplishing something. And he said that Punk fractured his elbow at Mania. And he said, unlike Punk, he said, I show up every week because I'm a real man and I get on with it. I don't sit at home like you. And then Punk's music hits and the crowd goes ballistic. And he's out at the press box. And Drew McIntyre looks so mad. The camera does the zoom up to Punk at the press box. He's wearing a tank top. And Punk said, I'm not at home. I'm right up here, you little bitch. And the crowd is like, oh, he said, bitch.
That's such a nasally, whiny fucking voice. My
Cry.
fault.
So he said, I'm up there, you little bitch.
That's what he does 90% of the time.
That was, by the way, that was just like a Natalia promo.
It was, Natalia would 100% be like, that's why I'm not at home. I'm sitting up here, bitch.
Yeah, that's exactly who Punk was biting.
But so Drew's just like, I bet. So Drew's going up there. He's like, I bet we're gonna run the ones up in this press box. So he goes up there to fight Punk. We go to commercial. We come back. Chad Gable approaches the Alpha Cat, and this is when the moment happened where like I said, Maxine is like, hey Chad, Matt Gable, like I got 2 eliminations last week in the Battle Royal. Like I'm doing well. I'm getting better. Blah blah. And Chad's like, that's what's up. Where's your fucking championship? You didn't win. I don't want to hear it. And he goes to Otis and Tozawa. He's like, no fucking dancing. Y'all gotta win tonight. So that was the setup there, and they all had matches. Maxine has to wrestle Candice LeRae, which they've been doing a back and forth for a few weeks now, and Tozawa and Otis got a title match for the tag titles. Kathy Kelly interviewed Braun Breaker backstage, and Breaker said Adam Pearce knew he was the best pick because he was on Raw to take over. At that moment, Sheamus, of all people, who recently came back 2 weeks ago, Sheamus came out there and got in his face. And Sheamus told him, calm down, fella. And he said that Sheamus told Braun that he was impressed by him and that Braun Breaker reminded him of his younger self. Sheamus stopped speaking because Drew McIntyre, who was seething, just walked by him, just like all angry and shit. And Braun was just kind of like, you should worry about that one, big bro. So who knows where this is going? But Rob, Sheamus and Braun Breaker, I think we're all in on that one. So I can't wait till that one gets going. Candice LeRae with Indy Hartwell versus Maxine Dupree. Candice turned heel a month and a half ago. She's been trying to convince Indy to just basically be more evil and help her cheat. Maxine Dupree is in this match, and she's kind of like doing her moves at the beginning, and commentary's talking about how much better Maxine has gotten as a wrestler. She did like a fisherman suplex. She does her worm, so on and so forth. But ultimately, the heels cheat, and Candice LeRae gets a big win, relatively speaking, before moving on to SmackDown because she would later be drafted to SmackDown. So I want to make this note. Earlier in that Chad Gable segment where he was berating his partners, when he walked away, Ivy Nile, who's with the Creeds, walked up to Maxine, and she basically was like, chin up. Don't worry about this asshole. So it looks like she's going to be full-time with Ivy Nile, who clearly has a crush on Maxine. But Maxine lost this match. She's probably going to get fired by Chad Gable. Do you have any opinions, Isra, on Maxine Dupree versus Candice LeRae?
Okay, so I watched Raw off of Hulu, and I don't think this made the cut on Hulu. So I'm sitting here nodding at it. I don't think I saw that.
Right.
But I did see like what you're talking about, like the backstage little moment, and it moved me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ivy Nile and
he's fucking. Yeah, Rob, what did you think of? Do you have any opinions on Maxine and Candice's blow off match here, which went too?
No, I don't. I just
shout out to Candice LeRae, future WrestleMania main eventer.
But no, bro. I didn't think she was. I liked it.
Right.
Basically, it should go. I don't know, bro, because I don't want him to kick out all the people in the Alpha Academy, bro.
Here's the thing. I'm okay with him firing them and getting the Creeds, but I don't mind if it's a whole big unit. I don't think Maxine fits them if they're heels, though. Maxine shouldn't be a heel at this stage.
Yeah, like Maxine shouldn't be with them if they're heels. But but I just don't want, because I don't know what direction you go with Otis and Tozawa. I don't
mind if like Tozawa does the right thing and he's a good guy, but Otis is like he bends the knee and he joins the bad version of them. So we'll see. But
I could see that more. where like Tozawa kind of like turns heel and joins Chad Gable and wants to be taken more seriously, and I could see Otis staying face and like that. And I mean, they are. It does kind of seem like this is going to set up for Chad Gable and Otis to feud with each other.
They could do that for sure. I think ultimately the end destination here is Chad is with the Creed brothers and whoever else may be in that unit, and he will be using that unit to go opposition of Sami Zayn. Backstage, Rey Mysterio is with the LWO, and if you want to pop at LWO segments, pay attention to Dragon Lee while Ray talks, because Dragon Lee, he's still working on his English, right? Like it's obviously not his first language, and he came over.
Obviously.
Don't do that. I'm not. Come on. But
obviously,
what I love about Dragon Lee is he's so happy to be here. He's so happy to be with Rey Mysterio, his idol, right? And Ray is talking about. He's like being serious, Rob. He was like, "I have finished Carlito and what Carlito did to me, and Carlito's a backstabber, and I'm gonna get Carlito. He's such a
yo,
traitor."
you need to chill.
He's
yeah,
doing
bro.
that,
He
right?
didn't even sound like that, bro.
You don't need to be doing all that.
He don't even be sounding like that.
Oh, really?
Bro, this show is gonna get canceled. My first episode back. Please chill.
Yo, he doesn't even like. He don't even be like. He literally just talks like this. Like he
That's
doesn't.
What I did.
No.
Anyways, he's shitting on Carlito, right? And Dragon Lee's like smiling and nodding. He's like, yeah, you know, he's like, yeah, man, go LWO. But yeah, so the LWO.
Hey, Ray's literally just like that piece of shit, Carlito, and you're like, yeah. So I you know, you like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, what you got going on?
Yeah. So this is the last appearance of Ibu.
John Ibu Layfield.
Yeah, so, when I started MBD wrote, whoa. Come on.
You tell your friends, your family, that Ibu of wrestling purists will be waiting.
This is second to Ibu speaking Chinese on air.
Oh, that was crazy,
bro. That shit was like
but that was funny because I spoke shoot Chinese and nobody believed me. I was speaking shoot Chinese, and everybody. Joe Hobart was about to duck out of this frame. Like he was like, "Yo, this is gonna get clipped. I gotta get the fuck up out of here." Like they're panicking and shit. And I'm like, "Bro, I'm speaking actual Chinese. Calm down." But
no, because I was a viewer. Like I was listening to that on my phone, and as that was happening, I swear I get up and start pacing around. Like I go outside and start pacing around. I'm like, this can't be happening.
I want y'all to understand. He just said shoot Chinese.
No, because people, when they're being racist and imitating other languages, they'll kind of like try to like imitate the dialect without actually saying the actual words, and that's work Chinese. This is shoot Chinese. But which I actually learned in high school. But nevertheless, on this Raw review, it rolls on because Drew McIntyre is looking for CM Punk in the private press box, and and Punk is not there anymore. Oh, let me rewind also. Dominic showed up to mock Rey Mysterio, who called him Dirty Sanchez because of his mustache. And so I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, Drew's looking for Punk. Punk's not in the press box. Punk comes out to Raw. He tells us that he has 5 minutes and 35 seconds, 46 seconds. He said he's going to cut this promo in less time than that because that's the time Drew McIntyre lasted as champion before he lost his championship. Punk said that McIntyre is like an ex-girlfriend he couldn't get rid of. And Punk said that he was glad he hurt McIntyre's elbow. He said McIntyre prayed for Punk to get injured, but Punk went out and hurt McIntyre himself. Punk said he was drafted ahead of McIntyre for one simple reason. He's the best in the world. Punk said he's not mad or out for revenge because McIntyre gives him purpose. He said losers hoped and prayed for things to happen while winners made things happen. And Punk told him, when I'm cleared, I promise you, I'm going to make your life a living hell. And the camera angles on this, Rob, were awesome because Drew McIntyre's just standing on the side and he's just like, Lord, I'm going to kill this man. I am going to kill this person. So very brief segment, but I love the CM Punk Drew McIntyre feud. I'm so into this. I can't wait till they're both healthy and ready to just fight each other. I want them to just talk shit on TV every week. I want them to beat each other up in the stands, in the arena, and the outside, so on and so forth. So I had fun with this. Rob, what did you think of this segment?
I liked this segment. Punk's promo was pretty bad. It had no substance,
Horrible.
used too many shoot references.
Trash.
And was really just a grown 40-something-year-old man whining into a microphone. Drew McIntyre is a beast, and he will compromise CM Bin Laden to a permanent end when they are both healthy.
So what did you think of the segment?
So I was never particularly like the biggest fan of Drew McIntyre, and throughout, his feud with Seth, I disliked him a lot more. But see, now that he's cooking someone else that isn't my favorite wrestler, I think I'm gonna stand. I think he's been cooking CM Punk. I don't think Punk is him anymore on the mic. I didn't think he ever was, but now in particular, like he's washed. Like he thinks he's doing something, and I promise you, like it just doesn't hit. I'm sorry. So yeah, Drew McIntyre is gonna expose him, I fear, and that's just gonna be what that is.
It's really fun because if you're somebody that hates CM Punk, you can literally live vicariously through Drew McIntyre and enjoy seeing him just talk shit to him. And if you love Punk, you get to see CM Punk fight for his life on TV and cut promos. So it's just really fun.
Horribly fight for his life.
No, I think he's doing pretty.
Struggling to get CM Punk chants. He's like a homeless man on the side of the street saying, "More CM Punk chant."
He's quite literally.
Please chant for me.
He does not do that, and he's so over, and he's such a huge star, genuinely, and because he's not advertised, when he pops out, like you never know when he's going to pop up now because he's injured, and when he pops out, it's a genuine positive addition to the show. And I'll tell you what, in Cody's
I wasn't fucking surprised because they told us the other day on Twitter that he was going to be at both of the draft nights. It's just that he didn't show up to the first one.
He's there. He's going to be there physically, but like on screen, WWE never said Punk on Raw, So, nevertheless, I'm real into this, man. I'm really into this feud. We follow this up, we follow this up with more draft picks. By the way, Punk, Teddy Long, and Alundra Blaze came out for the next picks. Punk is like walking over to Alundra Blaze. I don't know what was going on here. She was like, "Get the fuck away from me," and Punk was like,
"She's just like me."
Punk reached out to hug her, and then she's like reluctantly like leaning in, and Punk kisses her on the cheek. So I don't know what the story is. Punk and Alundra Blaze.
Sexual harassment in the workplace.
That's assault on live TV is crazy.
That's crazy.
That's your man's. That's your friend.
Come on.
That's your favorite,
bro. You said you was the one that said she. Hey, Isra, was it me and you that said she looked uncomfortable, or was it Ibu?
I didn't say
it was Ibu. Ibu, I heard Ibu say that she was reaching for her pepper spray too. Like I don't know.
You said your words were she looked like get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, it was a fun little bit. So in the next round of the draft, Raw selected Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough. SmackDown selected Naomi. I gotta say, so Def Rebel stinks, right? Like their new theme songs are really bad. Naomi's new theme is kind of awesome. The one that's like 1, 2, 3, let's go. It's really
basically the TNA theme that she had, but it's just Naomi.
Sure. The big one here, folks, number 3 pick in this round from NXT. Monday Night Raw selects the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov. Gunther's sworn enemy from the UK, Ilya Dragunov, who's been the NXT champion for a lot of the last half of the year. He is one of the best wrestlers in the company. Isra was introduced to him when he wrestled Carmelo Hayes. And if I remember correctly, Isra, you were just
I was moved.
You were in awe at just how insane, how intense.
That was some of the best wrestling I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm not joking.
Bro.
Yo, Isra, this nigga is a demon. Like,
he's
out of his fucking mind. He honestly, Isra, he restores the feeling of a man who shall not be named, but we need that intensity back in wrestling.
What happened? But no, bro, like, yo, it was crazy because you can see how crazy he was, bro. He gets up, he starts celebrating by punching himself in the fucking face over and over.
Those that didn't watch, he found out he got drafted, punched himself in the head, and was like,
Yo, Ibu, you know what he said when they asked him about him and Gunther being drafted to the same brand.
They
What do you
asked
say?
him. They asked him, "What do you think about being on the same roster as Gunther?" And he smirked and chuckled and said, "Destiny." We we
Nigga.
hear, we
Can we
hear.
get that at WrestleMania next year, please? Please?
I'm so locked in. I'm so locked in. I
Please?
love Ilya Dragunov. He's one of the best wrestlers on the planet, and he's on Monday Night Raw. And we have the pleasure of watching his matches and reviewing it. Um, what a blessing. So we end this round with SmackDown selecting Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. They will be eating KODs and Jadeds for the next 3 months. So that's kind of that. After this, Liv Morgan had her match with Nia Jax. This went about 10 minutes. Tiffany Stratton was shown watching the match from the front row. She has a vested interest because Nia Jax made her presence known and felt on SmackDown last week because Stratton was facing Naomi and Nia Jax kind of like ruined that whole party. So Stratton's kind of watching this and seeing how this goes. And they're having a back and forth match. It's okay. The crowd is chanting, like, let's go Liv. They're cheering for Liv Morgan here. And then, hold on. Sorry. But so yeah, they're having a back and forth match here. And they're having a back and forth match here, and then Naomi comes out to fight Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like distractions and stuff. Nia Jax is like watching and looking on the action from her new SmackDown coworkers, and it ultimately leads to Liv Morgan being able to take advantage, and she gets her with an Oblivion. So Liv Morgan gets a win on Nia Jax, who's normally very protected and never really loses on TV. But on her last night on Raw, she went out on her back. She lost to Liv Morgan, who appears to be challenging Becky Lynch fairly soon for the Women's Championship. And so Liv Morgan gets to win on Nia. What did you think of this one, Isra?
I thought it was a pretty solid match and a pretty solid showing for everyone. I like that Liv finally got like a pretty good win over Nia, and that also like how you said like she went out on her back, like that made me respect Nia a lot more too. I think she beat a lot of allegations that she gets about like working with her and stuff.
Right.
But I actually kind of like the dynamic with Nia and all of the women. I am kind of like in and out of wrestling, so I haven't seen as much of Nia's like development. But from this showing that I've seen like as of late, like I just been eating her up. Like I need more of her. And also, wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, I kind of blacked for a second. This did also kind of make me more invested in Liv and Becky because I do enjoy their matches together, and I think they have a lot of great chemistry. So I think it was a good baseline for everything.
Yeah, the thing about the Nia return, the reason why it's worked is this. It's not that she's like drastically different from what she was before, but what it is they're weaponizing what she's good at more now. They know the fans hate her, so they put her in position to just get the most heat. And her matches are structured to where her size and her like just the way she wrestles isn't a detriment to her. The matches are about knocking her off her feet, about taking advantage of that, about avoiding her big moves that they've set up. Because her Annihilator, where she does the sit down like splash, it's been treated like a killing blow. And so again, they're just smarter with how they use her. And so that's why she works now. Also, she's treated as like this chaotic figure within the division who always just kind of stirs shit up and ruins shit for people. Rob,
low key, she also has really good comedic timing too.
Yes, she does.
She's really funny. Like she's kind of like the Natalia brand of funny, like unintentionally but intentionally. Like she's great.
Walks out and they're booing her. She's like, I don't know what these people are saying, but like
she like it'll be mid promo. She's not supposed to say this, but somebody just say something really obviously stupid, and she'll be like, "Oh, shut up."
Yeah, like she's just really funny and has like, these like really quick backup quips that she has. But Rob, did you have anything to add on Nia versus Liv Morgan?
No, I thought it was fine. It was a perfect way to send Liv basically because Nia for like the last year since she's been back has kind of been like the upper tier, like barely anybody's been able to beat her kind of way. So and her basically putting Liv Morgan over on the way going out to SmackDown basically kind of elevates Liv Morgan and then like the tier sense of where she's at on Monday Night Raw. So
yep.
Yeah.
Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley, the Dudley boys are here, and they're announcing the next round of picks.
Jive.
They did all their catchphrases to get their moment in that 1 minute. They were Devon, get the tables, and oh my brother, testify, and so on and so forth. But Raw selects New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. They stay put on Raw. SmackDown gets Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly stays on SmackDown. Raw selects Lyra Valkyria from NXT. Lyra had been a real standout in NXT the last few months, just coming into her own as a really solid wrestler. And clearly they picked her up because they see the upside. She's a bit of a protege of Becky Lynch. She's somebody that got to wrestle Rhea and Becky in NXT. They clearly see her as somebody that she's young, she can work, and so they're giving her an opportunity here. And I think it's well deserved. She cried on TV when she found out. She did not know she was.
Yep.
So she was really taken aback by it. It was a really nice moment on television.
Yeah, two Lyra matches people need to check out. Her and Roxanne at Vengeance Day, and the match that she just had last Tuesday, that 3-way.
Yeah, I didn't think that much of the Roxanne singles match, but their 3-way where it was her, Roxanne, and Tatum Paxley was really fun. Lyra can be something on the main roster. It's going to depend on the creative and how she can get over. She's not like this bombastic personality that's going to immediately captivate people, but she's just really solid. And so she's going to need some help creatively, but I thought it was a cool moment to draft her. So she's on Raw, and SmackDown selected Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. Indy and Candice had been regulars on Raw. And they're moving over, and once again, they will be catching lots of KODs and Jadeds. So that was that round of the draft. The Miz was rapping alongside Awesome Truth. Offbeat, that was a thing. Awesome Truth and R-Truth and the Miz defeated Tozawa and Otis in about 2 minutes. Alpha Academy did not get an entrance, and they lost here. Like I said, Chad Gable looks like he's going to fire them pretty soon. The next segment, guys, was Dominic annoyed that the Judgment Day fell to the 4th round. Priest said that they shouldn't be surprised. Priest told them to stick to the plan and get it done tonight in the match. JD had this makeup bruise on his face because he got hit with the with the Super Bowl rings earlier, so they were selling that whole thing. The final round of picks, guys: Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. Raw selected The Final Testament, Authors of Pain, Scarlett, Paul Ellering, and Karrion Kross. SmackDown selected DIY. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are now moving to SmackDown. Raw selected Big Bronson Reed. And SmackDown selected Blair Davenport, the former Bea Priestley who wrestled in Stardom. She had been on NXT for about a year and a half.
Chop. Go ahead.
She had been wrestling in NXT for about a year and a half, and she was caught off guard here. But SmackDown took her. They wanted to add some depth and maybe a prospect on their division. This is not someone who will be taking lots of KODs and Jaded. This appears to be somebody that they may see as a project. So we'll see what happens with her. That was the last round. Do you have thoughts on this, sister? You seem to
No, I'm just not a fan. But good for her. You said she's going to SmackDown, or
she's going to be
okay. Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, we'll see about that one. I'm not going to be too quick to hate because obviously she hasn't done anything on the main roster. But I will be watching. I will be keeping an eye open.
Yeah. I'm not this place, sister, because she was hyped up coming out of Stardom.
She's kind of like a WWE Jamie Hayter.
Yeah. So here's the interesting. Here's the thing. She was hyped up, and then she comes to NXT, and she wasn't particularly notable or good, or she didn't make much of an imprint. But listen, sometimes it's all this in sports. Sometimes it's about the setting, and maybe the setting around actual professionals on a bigger stage may help her. So that's the deal.
Hold on. WWE just posted the both rosters on Twitter. I'm about to put that on the screen right now.
No, we'll do that after all. Let's finish the review and then we'll assess the roster. We'll do that afterwards.
It's not the last thing. Oh, brother.
No, we
don't have any more pictures.
You thought the main event was fucking?
No, the fucking website broke the pictures, bro. They repeated the pictures at 67.
It's fine. Max is back up, and I'll wrap this up. So, so we then went to the main event. and the main event was Jey Uso, Ricochet, and Andrade versus Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Damian Priest. 10-minute match. They went to the break 90 seconds in, right before the commercial break. Ricochet and Andrade were doing some solid work and did some dives, and then Jey Uso did a dive on the other side. And then we came back, and basically it was a long heat segment that led to a Jey Uso hot tag where he did a bunch of yeet punches and yeet kicks, and ultimately he got a spear and defeated Finn Balor to get the win here. And so the babyfaces beat Judgment Day. Jey Uso got the customary babyface win right before the title defense because he's probably going to lose to Priest. As a match, like, it was fine, but for me, the standard of Raw main events with Judgment Day is so much above this because last year, when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn would wrestle these guys, these matches would tear the house down. Like, they were excellent main event matches. And compared to that, this was very much just kind of okay. It was less about like letting Andrade and Ricochet cook, so to speak, and more about just kind of showcasing Jay and positioning him strong for the match. So booking wise, it was well booked, but as a match, it was just kind of there. Rob, what did you think of this main event?
I didn't have a problem with this main event. It was fine. I knew it was supposed to be, and it was basically supposed to be a go home. The standard go home tag match. Basically to establish the main match, for this Sunday. I don't really know how Jey Uso versus Damian Priest is gonna go, but it just cannot be like how the I mean, I guess it could be like that because international crowds love everything. So it might just be struck, but it can't go like the Jey Uso Jimmy Uso match, bro. It can't be slow. It can't be no, bro. You gotta like there has to be some sort of way I'll have to put this match together, bro, because I don't see it going above. I don't see like them having a great match. I just don't see it.
Jay and Damian, not really. No, I don't really see that. But I'll
Oh,
say
that match is gonna be so cunt.
it'll be cunt, but would it be good? I don't know. It'll be cunt. Definitely, it'll definitely be. I'll say this. Rob, with this new roster, they're gonna have to assemble a collective of baby faces that are friends on screen and save each other and can be used in main events because they struck gold last year with that combination of Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes. Any combination of those four people were main eventing every Raw, and they were buddies, and they were the good guys of Raw. They were the Avengers of Raw, right? It was a great formula. This year and this time around, we're gonna have to do the same thing, and they're gonna have to figure out what that combination is. Andrade will not be in this combination because he's moving to SmackDown, but they're gonna have to figure out who is the group of guys that save each other in angles and help each other and are awesome together. There are many candidates to choose from. It's up to them to find the right mix because once they find that set formula, not that you have to repeat it every week, but it'll guide you and help the TV better. It's almost like finding chemistry as a basketball team after a trade. So
Right.
I'm looking forward to seeing what that combination is. But there you go. That was Raw. Let's go to the last few picks and then we'll go to some super chats. I'm going to go on WWE's Twitter because they announced the rest of them on social media.
I got you. I'm about to put them up on the screen.
The actual picks?
Yeah, no.
You're going to pull up the full roster, aren't you?
I mean, yeah, like
Well, I'm trying to get the actual picks, like just the individual picks.
it was just like Apollo Cruz and
Pulling it
Tegan
up right
Knox.
now. It's right here. So the Creed brothers and Ivy now got moved to Raw.
Okay.
Giovanni Vinci is going to SmackDown.
Yes.
New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate are going to Raw. Tegan Knox is going to SmackDown. Dijak of NXT, real underrated one right here. He's going up to Monday Night Raw. Really excited for that one. A really good wrestler, great size, somebody that is very underrated. I think could help them. So he's going to Monday Night Raw. Apollo Crews, who's still in this company, he's going to SmackDown. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter remain on Monday Night Raw. Natalia is going to Monday Night Raw. And the last pick of the draft is Odyssey Jones, who is still also employed, and we have not seen him on screen in about
He got drafted to Raw last year as the last pick in the draft.
Yes, and this year again, this might be a rib or a tradition. So that's the end of the draft there. And I would just say this broadly speaking, Rob, is SmackDown as a show does not need to have a long, deep roster because what ends up happening is it's formatted in a way where these people don't realize their potential. If you're not a main eventer, the worst thing to be is a mid carder on SmackDown. Because
Yeah.
if you're mid carder on SmackDown, you're getting a 3-minute match in the middle of the show that means nothing. You want so for you, if you're a mid carder, you want to be on Raw where you have more time to develop your character and wrestle longer matches. You can be a main eventer on SmackDown because you can have the opening segment and the main event matches. And so it's a top heavy roster, but that's kind of what services the needs of that show. Your key players are Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline and Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Logan Paul's on that show. Bailey's on the show. Stratton, Naomi, Jade, Tiffany. So they'll be just fine with that crew. Whereas Raw has a lot of just the wrestlers. You know, you can move that one now, Rob. But Drew McIntyre's on that show. Gunther, Sheamus, Dragunov, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Punk, Sami Zayn, Chad Gable. It's ridiculously stacked. And Becky is surrounded by enough people to work with where the women's division should be much better. She has Liv Morgan. She has all the damage control. She has Lyra, who should be a real helpful prospect there. A quiet move that could have upside, Rob, is Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Yes.
Who, hopefully they get more chances to wrestle on Raw. Hopefully.
They're good. Isla Dawn is like good, bro. She does like half Nelson suplexes and shit. So
and the former Kaylee Ray is really, really good. So
yeah.
And again, this is just a hell of a wrestling roster. So we'll see how things shake out. On paper, Raw should have no excuse to be bad, but that's where the draft.
Oh well,
that's where the draft has left us. Let's close this thing out with some super chats and get the fuck up out of here, guys. This is your final chance to send us money and ask us questions or share any opinions you'd like to. Let's go through these right now.
All right, Corey David, $5. You think the Elite could have did a story with Punk like McIntyre is doing?
Yes, they could have, but they did not want to, so it didn't happen.
I don't think they're as cutthroat as McIntyre on the mic, respectfully.
Yeah, it's not necessarily their approach, but it would have still been a very compelling thing to see, like two people that hate each other feuding. But they didn't want to do it, and at this point, there's no point crying over spilled milk. But Corey, I do thank you for your $5 super chat.
All right, next super chat. Corey David, $2. Rob, what happened to your Pelicans? Damn.
What happened to your Pelicans, Rob?
Bro, Zion got hurt, bro. It is what it is.
It's really sad. I actually wanted them to succeed this year.
He was doing, bro, that game that he had where he got hurt. He was doing really well in that game.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
It just injuries ruined a lot of teams' hopes this year. It's really unfortunate. Hopefully
I'm sorry. I was puzzled because I'm looking at this. It's a New Japan Cup, Hiromu versus Leo, and they said he replied. Somebody replied to Leo and said your first match against Hiromu is one of my comfort matches, and he's cold tweeting saying, "I said let's not talk about this again."
It's because that situation makes him emotional. He was really happy in New Japan last year when he got the opportunity, and those fans took to him, and it was real like a personal, like emotional time for him. And he's like not over like basically like not being asked to come back.
Oh, okay, I was confused. That's why I brought it up. Sorry, I was just confused. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
He's just kind of sad that like it ended, and it wasn't like because he wanted it to end. He had like some illness and he had to stop, and they didn't call him back.
Damn. Corey David, $5. I seen Mako congratulating Lyra and Blair. Question is where she is what she wait is where she is does she have a Titus type deal?
I don't know what the deal is with Mako Satomura. She gets to live in Japan and not come down to NXT because she does not want to live in Orlando, and she gets to run her promotion Senjo in Japan while still being employed by WWE. So good for her if you can still get a check. I'm trying to see these tweets that this person is talking about. I'm looking at her Twitter. She retweeted a lot of retweeted the call up videos and stuff like that. Isla Dawn tweeted, NXT UK is the reason your favorites are your favorites. Star Factor. So look at that. Look at Leo. This is adorable.
Look at the mug. Okay, y'all. Leo's turning 11 years old tomorrow.
Absolutely. Look at that.
This is so send super chats for Leo's birthday. We gotta get him his gift. Look at his face. Look at the fierceness. Like, come on.
Gotta feed the cat.
Get into this mug.
Corey, thank you so much for super chat. Again, guys, this is your last opportunity to get some super chats and some questions, your perspectives and thoughts, because we're going to be out of here in a couple minutes. Bluey, 100 rupees. Is the WWE boom top heavy? The stories and promos with top guys, Cody, Drew, Roman, Punk, IC Division, are fleshed out stellar, mid-card skippable. Yeah, it is top heavy. Every wrestling boom is fairly top heavy, where the things that are guiding it towards success are the main stories and angles from the main people. So yeah, I would agree. I would say yes, it is. That's not the worst thing in the world, though, because you'd rather the top be on point and succeeding and getting over, and you can always just work on getting more things over down the card. And when your promotion is hot, you have a better chance of other things just being over, quite simply because people are just there to have a good time.
That ass. And the thing is like now on Raw, bro, we have something here. If they can do it right and get over their awesome truth lust, then we have something here. We have something. Thank you for the super chat. Hush 199. What weren't people supposed to get drafted to NXT?
That was the impression I was certainly under. So I don't know what really happened. It feels like they might not now, because there's a couple people that could have moved that did not. So I guess we'll see. What happens. But it looks like they're not going to NXT. Thank you, Hush.
All right, thank you. Matt Hennessy, 599 euros. Raw 100% won the draft with new picks like Dragunov, Dijak, Valkyria, Breaker, LW, and the New Catch Republic.
A lot of wrestlers that I just like watching that I will be able to watch on Mondays. So I am looking forward to it.
No, definitely.
It's so adorable.
Fucking Valkyria versus a lot of people is going to be really good. LWO has been doing their thing for long, and Dragon Lee gets to wrestle for 15 minutes now. So
yes, absolutely.
Matt Hennessy, another 599 euros. SmackDown got some new nice additions to the roster in Hayes, Andrade, DIY, and Blair Davenport, but Raw definitely has the more stacked roster. No, definitely, and that's why I believe like because they do this every draft, which is basically like Raw has because remember Raw had a lot of the star power back in the day, when they did the first draft. The SmackDown only really had The Rock and Undertaker and like Brock and like who else? They didn't really have anybody, and Kurt maybe, and really nobody else. While Raw had like Triple H and Shawn Michaels and all these different people. So it's like I think it's going to be another situation as to where Raw has the stacked roster. The SmackDown won't really be bad. They'll find their way back to being what they originally. If they restructure the show to be a wrestling show instead of a theater drama.
Bro, DJ Academics tweeted Drake up 1-0, round 2, let's go. What are you talking about?
Anyway, he was paid to say that.
He was paid. He's so paid. Hush 199. Once Punk is healthy, he's on that Collision time. Punk 100% wants to wrestle a lot. I feel like his strength will be like the promos and angles, but he is of the mindset like he wants to do like multi-man tags with people and things like that nature. So we'll see if they can strike a rhythm where he can get some matches in that help the TV.
No, definitely. Hush 199 is pretty bad. Can Rigo just quietly slip in Nakajima on Raw?
Yeah, it's interesting to see what's going on with Katsuhiko Nakajima. He departed All Japan Pro Wrestling, and some people have him linked to NXT. Maybe he goes. He's just continuing to just kind of float around. He's posting himself in Japan with his beanie hat on and stuff. So I don't know. Hey, listen, man. If you want to drop Katsuhiko Nakajima in this mix with Ilya Dragunov and Sheamus and Gunther, I mean, who am I to say no to that? But we'll continue to monitor what's happening with Nakajima, and we'll see.
All right. Thank you for the super chat. Kale, 20, another 20 Mexican pesos. Thin Ice Ibu, don't do my people like that. Yeah, bro, you were crazy.
I love you. I appreciate you.
Bro.
I love the Mexican people.
Not too much of a big O.
Oh my God, you sound like Trump.
I was about to say,
I love the Mexican people.
I love the Mexican people.
I love the Mexicans. No, I got none.
The Mexicans is great.
Yeah, right. I got none of love. I got none but love for the Mexican community, the Latino community. So yeah, my if it came off the way, Kale, my deepest apology. I was simply doing
You're so fucking stupid.
when my PR statements come on. But nah.
Stop.
I was just trying to do an impression. My apologies. Thank you for the pace, sir.
Duce Rhodes, $4.99. Blair should have went back to AEW. She doesn't fit in WWE. I wasn't feeling her NXT UK run. Her Sotomora matches were good. She had some decent matches in NXT, this current NXT. But she hasn't really had a star making performance yet.
Yeah, no, she has not. I'll reassess this when I watch her on the main roster, because you might be right. You might be right. We'll see how it goes with her. I'm just sure she's just not that good, but we'll see.
All right. Corey David, $2. Not gonna lie, Raw missed the opportunities. Obafemi was right there.
No, I would have been premature. Give him another.
Why not?
Needs to win the NXT title before he goes out.
Obafemi and Trick Williams both need another year.
Yes.
Go up. Thank you, Corey.
And the last super chat, another one from Corey David, $2. Ibu, you see anybody from AEW jumping to WWE?
I could see Ricky Starks making a jump. Other than that, nothing super duper major right now. I think it's an imminent departure.
Ricky Starks.
Don't be mean. Yeah, Malachi Black would love to leave, but he's locked into a 360 deal.
Truly.
Yeah, he's in a 360 deal.
Ricky's yeah, I genuinely want to believe, know what people think he's gonna do.
Right, but is that the last super chat, Rob?
Yes, I believe that is the last super chat.
Cool. Awesome. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this Raw review. Isra, thank you so much for joining us and lending.
Thank you for having me. And I can't wait for next week. Now that the draft has happened, I'm gonna be watching Raw every week. And since I have a day off on Tuesday, I will be here every week, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Free Palestine.
And absolutely. And here's the other thing about it. Is it's gonna feel like a episode 1 fresh clean slate because you have a new cast, the new status quo with the new characters. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to reviewing it with you and Rob, who currently is no longer attached to anything because again his family has failed him at WrestleMania. But whoa. Yeah. Nevertheless, guys, I hope.
What happened on Friday? Cody can't beat the playoffs.
Go fuck yourself. So listen, guys.
I'm just asking, bro. Sorry, my bad.
Guys, please make sure to leave a comment because it really helps us with the visibility of the video. So when this is done, when this goes off air, if you drop a comment, I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed Isra in her first show back in a while, and I hope you enjoyed this review. So for Isra, for Rob, I am Ibu of Wrestle Purist, and guys, we are signing out. See you next week.